So we are just going to jump right into it, being that it's 4th of July week. We are going to start out this week with a discussion on the most American wrestlers of all time. And how this is going to work, me and John both have 3 picks. We're going to introduce our picks, and then we're just kind of going to debate and argue about which order they should go in from least patriotic.
Because that's the American way.
Exactly. If there's not an argument or a debate like the one you heard at the top of the show with Scott Steiner, it's not really American. So we are just going to jump right into it here. I'm going to have John introduce his first pick and argue why it should be considered as part of this list and where it should go on the list.
So any particular order or...
Not particularly. You just throw any one of your picks out and then we'll kind of debate
All right,
where it goes on the list from 1 to 6.
Well, I'm going to have to start out with Hulk Hogan.
Okay, yeah.
Flag waving, always spot for what's right. That's my first pick. And then Dusty Rhodes.
All right, well, hold up. Let's discuss Hulk Hogan a little more here and why. And kind of...
Pretty much just because he's like the total hero, so he has to always stand up for America. Like, same thing they're doing with Cena and like whatever. Like... Any villainous professional wrestler talks bad about our country.
It's true. That's how wrestling works. You can't be a good guy and like America.
And then Dusty Rhodes, because he really embodies like the hardworking American son of a plumber, all that. The American dream of,
yeah,
nickname.
Well, yeah, if your nickname is the American dream, you definitely deserve to be on this list.
And then this kind of goes with Hogan to Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Okay.
That was his gimmick.
Yeah, his gimmick was strictly America. All right, well, let's go back to Hulk Hogan for a moment. Obviously, this one's going to be pretty high on the list. I mean, you can't...
Real American.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going for most American theme song, he's, number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, all the way down the list. But I don't know. I mean, you go back and watch some of the stuff from like the 80s and, his feud with, Sergeant Slaughter when Sergeant Slaughter fucking turned on America like a Judas.
That's why he didn't make my list.
Yeah, right, exactly. That's what I thought too when I was going over this. I was like, well, there's Sergeant Slaughter, but he was an Iraqi sympathizer, and there's no room for that in this country. You can like it or get the fuck out.
You know what? I totally overlooked a bunch of guys, but
oh
anyway.
Yeah, that's kind of the nature of this. Is
they're all coming to me now.
We're narrowing it down. Well, what's one you would put in place of one of yours? Because
okay. Kurt Angle, definitly.
Fuck you, that's my pick. You can't pick Kurt Angle.
Hey, last week you stole my Ric Flair
yeah, but I didn't know.
X-Pac joke.
I told you my picks last night. Fucking asshole.
I could have taken the big one.
No. You will not steal that thunder. But yeah, so Hulk Hogan, I mean, it's just... the all-time great all-American babyface. I mean, of course, he did have his NWO run, his heel run, but, people are going to most remember Hulk Hogan for both his work in the early 90s and before, and then for me personally, just his run from 2002 on when he finally came back to WWE. I mean, that to me was one of the best runs of his career. I mean, he was old and broken down by that point, and he couldn't really... I mean, he never, let's be honest, could do much in the ring.
Well, to like someone like me who completely missed his initial run, of course.
Well,
I wasn't alive in the 80s, and I missed WCW as well. I was an instant fan as soon as he came back, and then I was able to see him and like... really hear like his crowd reactions.
Yeah,
he's still over as hell.
And just the red and yellow Zubas coming out and like air guitaring to Voodoo Child by Jimi Hendrix was one of the coolest fucking things ever in wrestling. I loved it. So I think we're kind of both going to be in agreement on this one. Hulk's got to go number 1. I mean, there's I mean, you could certainly make an argument for a lot of these other guys, but when
I think Angle had an anti-American gimmick at one point too. So when they were trying to get him,
stop ruining my childhood.
No, when they were trying to get him booed over Cena,
he
was like I hate soldiers or something, and he wants beast sex with Booker T's wife.
What?
You don't remember this?
No, when did this happen? This must have been in like the black hole period of when I wasn't really watching. And
he said he wants to have like animal sex with your wife, Booker.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right then.
That's pretty American though.
Oh yeah, the bestiality, America.
Freedoms, damn it.
Those are the principles this country was birthed on, damn it. All right. So Hulk Hogan's going number 1. I'm going to jump in here with one of my picks now. Just talked about him, Kurt Angle. And there are a lot of reasons that you can put Angle on this list. Starting out first, I mean, the guy was a legitimate fucking gold medalist wrestler.
Broken freaking neck.
In the Olympics with a broken freaking neck. So, I mean, just outside of his pro wrestling credentials, I think he's already on the list. Obviously comes to WWF in 1999 and immediately becomes a main eventer.
Do you know his first match was with?
Oh, God. I'm trying to think.
Shawn Stasiak.
Oh, really?
Yep, they had a dark match, I believe.
Okay. Gotcha. Well, that makes sense. They also had an interaction on one of my top favorite moment in Raw history. I think I actually mentioned this on the first episode of the milk truck segment where Shawn Stasiak like tries to dive at him when he's by the milk truck and just tosses him into it. It was great.
We are having technical difficulties. Please stand by.
Sorry about that. Technical issues already.
8 minutes in, that's always a good sign.
Yeah, I think they brought up their dark match. Ring of Honor? I think they talked about their dark match like during the, at least in an interview, like in one of the magazines. It's all kayfabe, you know. But.
Yeah, I think this is by far the most Shawn Stasiak has ever been discussed on a wrestling podcast ever.
He's a favorite of ours at the Adjective Play.
Yeah, we have like these just weird favorites and weird things that we like in wrestling, and Shawn Stasiak is somehow one of them. But I mean, yeah, Kurt Angle, I mean, even though he was a heel for most of his career, I mean, even when he wasn't, he still kind of was. I don't think the "you suck" chants just haunted him forever. Like, just how easy it is to like sing along to his theme song, even when they tried to push him as a face again. It just
it was an endearing chant.
God damn it, Romulus, you fuckface! Listen, fuckhead. Yeah, my damn cat.
Now we're having cat issues.
Yeah, God, this is just off to a great start this week.
Yeah, but the "you suck" chants were like an endearing chant. It wasn't insulting.
Yeah, it kind of was.
It started off insulting, but by the time, I don't know, people were just happy to chant it at him because they like it.
The one era of Kurt Angle that sticks out to me and why he made it on this list for me is his 2001 face run during the Invasion angle. I've actually been watching a lot of that lately. Somebody just uploaded like a shit ton of episodes of Raw and SmackDown to YouTube from that era, and just goddamn, he was good. He was just so over it in a way he really never would be as a face again. It was, I don't know, it was, to me, even though that era was kind of, there's a lot of things that could have been done differently. They did Kurt Angle absolutely perfectly during that period, like during his feud with Austin leading up, I think, just to SummerSlam of that year for the title.
Yeah, until they turned him.
Yeah, which was stupid. I still, that was retarded. But yeah, I think we got to put Kurt Angle pretty high on this list. I'm not shooting for top half just because of his heel runs and stuff, and I don't know. I think Kurt Angle, he's probably a good 4 or 5 on the list.
Well, I don't know. I would even put him higher, honestly.
Okay. How about, we'll put him right there at 3 then, right? Kind of in the middle.
Yeah.
Kurt Angle at number 3. All right. So we got Angle at 3, Hulk Hogan already, the unanimous pick at the number 1 spot. So
the first two.
Yes. So let's go back to one of your picks then. Dusty Rhodes.
Okay, without a doubt, he has to be really high up there.
Yeah. I think I might agree with you on that one.
Think about it, like all of his just classic promos, like sticking up for the working class, and
yeah, he really was that kind of blue collar guy that actually
like,
got
I'm
over.
reaching out to you. He's like a preacher.
Yeah, like he had that really blue collar element to him that they've tried doing since, but I
don't think it's ever felt as natural as
it's never worked nearly as well.
His gimmick was like him pretty much.
Yeah,
I know he's like took elements from other people, but like that. Like his story is true 100%.
Yeah, and that's what I think really attracted so many fans to Dusty Rhodes. A lot of people who are listening to this probably don't know Dusty Rhodes very well, aside from his occasional cameo appearances on, the television these days, or the dad of Cody Rhodes. But I would encourage you all to there's so much on YouTube that you could find about him. His matches, if you're really not into wrestling from that period, his matches probably aren't going to do much for you. But
oh no, that was a different time.
Exactly,
wrestling's evolved.
Yeah,
as a whole.
Not to put it down at all.
Southern wrestling. Yeah, it's outdated now.
It really is.
I'm still entertained by it.
Oh yeah,
especially some of their like his matches. I loved his matches with Superstar Billy Graham, like the bull rope match they had and stuff.
Yes, absolutely.
And like, of course, all of his matches with Ric Flair and the Four Horsemen.
Yep,
they're great.
Yeah, but go back, at least watch some of the promos this guy did. Just how incredibly good he was on the mic, and
he was good at selling tickets.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. Someday, I think one of our debates we're going to have is best talkers of all time, and I think he's definitely going to make that list somewhere. He was just so good at just connecting with people, and just his weird like alliterations and rhyming he just did in his promos it was so good. Like nobody has really done that style since, save for maybe The Rock a little bit.
And I think like his body shape really helped him too. I don't want to say he's like out of shape, because he was definitely in great ring shape.
Yeah.
But Dusty was a fat guy.
Oh yeah,
and it's really relatable for us Americans.
I think the fatness is what really is going to bump him up to the top of the list. Obese son of a plumber. How much more American can you get than that? So, you've convinced me. We're going to put him at number 2. I think that's the perfect spot.
That's what I'm talking about.
So. All right, we've got the top 3 covered. Just the bottom half of the list still open, but lots of good debate to go. Got Hulk Hogan so far at number 1, Dusty Rhodes at number 2, and Kurt Angle then at number 3. I'm going to go into my next pick then. This is my all-time favorite wrestling character ever, hands down, bar none. The American Badass gimmick of The Undertaker, the riding the motorcycle, coming out to Kid Rock and Limp Bizkit, and the last theme song he had, which was original by Jim Johnston, was one of the best wrestling themes ever.
You're gonna pay.
Yeah, it's just when I first started getting back into wrestling after just the WCW Finger Poke of Doom debacle. Undertaker, the American Badass, was one of the first people I saw, and I was like, yes, that is fucking awesome. That's what I wanted to see. Just this dude in a bandana, chewing tobacco, riding motorcycles, kicking ass. Nobody's going to fuck with that. And it's such a believable, awesome wrestling character, because if you see that guy in the street, you're not going to fuck with him. You are going to run as fast as you can.
You're going to pay.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to pay if you fuck with the American Badass. And just, it really was. It was American, but not
not in a cheesy way.
Yeah.
Like I said, they've used the American gimmick in the past as just a means of cheap pops.
Yeah.
Of course.
He wasn't the prototypical smiling, waving the American flag, kissing babies.
He'll defend the flag when he needs to.
Yeah.
But it wasn't his character exactly.
Yeah, God, it's just
he's just a tough dude looking for a fight.
Yeah, fucking pisses me off when today people really just bury that gimmick and just say it was just a lost part of his career, because to me it was the best part of his career.
And it was totally underutilized in my opinion. They could have used that forever. I understand why they went back, because I mean that the dead man gimmick's like the one that got him over in the first place.
Yeah, I don't know. Me personally, I would have been fine just him being Biker Taker forever.
But, same. I loved him talking too.
Yeah, exactly. And that's, I mean,
he really got to show like his personality more.
Yeah, exactly. Because I think Biker Taker, that was Mark Calloway, you know.
At the same time, it's probably more challenging to do the dead man gimmick.
Yeah.
And to stay over, you know, with like minimal talking parts and everything. That's a testament to his skill as a performer.
Yeah, and I don't hate the dead man gimmick. I like it. I think it's a timeless wrestling character. I still love seeing him to this day, but just I would like to kind of see them incorporate. I'm kind of getting off topic here a little bit, but I'd kind of like to see them incorporate.
That's what we're all about.
Yeah. Just kind of combine these two elements of his character together. Like, he can still be the dead man and come out to the funeral dirge music, but like, have him not talk like a fucking zombie. It's the most excruciating, like, Shawn Michaels, you will rest. It's just slow, and it's just,
well, they've been dialing that back a bit.
They have, and
especially since like I think the second match he had with Triple H at Mania.
Yeah,
I think that's where they started like kind of humanizing him.
Yeah, and
more.
they should,
Again,
because
he's already been completely humanized.
Yeah,
so it makes no sense to ignore
WWE,
it.
they as far as they're concerned, the American Badass is non-canon. Like, it doesn't count. Like, it just didn't happen. Like, you watch, I have like the Undertaker's Deadliest Matches DVD set, and it just completely skips over that entire period of his career. Even
That's
though
a shame. There were some great matches.
Were some great matches during
Lesnar, Hell in a Cell immediately comes to mind.
Yeah, I actually just watched that. That's a damn
chaotic
good match. Yeah, and it just bothers me like that this company like just takes the most cherished part of my childhood in terms of professional wrestling and just says that never fucking happened. And I don't know. But I love it.
Makes sense at the same time. They'll probably go back to it eventually.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, when all is said and done.
Man, if all of a sudden on like Raw one week, You're Gonna Pay started playing and he came out on the bike, I might just keel over and die. That would be the ultimate mark-out. I don't think that's going to happen necessarily, but I don't know. I would like to see it. I don't think
it's just difficult to like find a balance between those two gimmicks because they're so different from each other.
Yeah, exactly.
If they could, I don't know. I mean, like have them like. Actually, I don't know.
Well, they had. I mean, they like one of his like new.
I'm not a writer. I'm just drinking a beer right now.
Be. No, we shouldn't. We'd bury that company. But like one of his last, nicknames that they came up with for him was the Last Outlaw, and
I love that too.
And they could totally combine they could make him into sort of like a more like old Western character and still have him incorporate
those
like
are the vibes
elements
I got,
of the
like the
Dead
Johnny
Man.
Cash,
have
and
him come out like a dust. Yeah, Johnny Cash, like have him wear a duster. I think that'd be sweet. But I don't know. Who knows how long Taker's even going to be around still at this point? How much? I mean, you can't really put.
I've learned to never doubt him, honestly.
Yeah,
I think I was like, oh, he's on his last legs, and this was years ago. He still comes back and like kicks ass. Every time. Yeah. So I'm not going to doubt him.
I agree.
He can go as long as he wants.
But yeah, going back to our original topic that this list is on, just in overall Americanness, I think he's right up there with the greats. Like I said, he rode a fucking motorcycle and American flag, and it was just awesome. I mean, like I said, he wasn't the prototypical all-American babyface like the Hulk Hogan's.
No, because he didn't like preach America. Right. I think the only time he really did was like during his. He had a really short run-in with like the Un-Americans.
Oh yeah,
and that was the only time that comes to mind that he really like stuck up for America or anything.
Yeah,
but it was more of like a nickname and character than anything.
He was just more the embodiment of American virtues. Not taking shit from people. standing up for what you believe in and just kicking ass and taking names. To me, that's motherfucking America, and that's why Taker deserves to be on this list. I'm going to argue, I would have argued to put him higher, but we've got that covered already, and for good reason. I think.
Well, I thought he ended up higher too.
Yeah,
I'm shocked that we moved him down so far.
Yeah, well, if this was a list on best ever wrestling gimmicks, I think he would be a lot higher than this. But I'm okay putting him right at that 4 spot. I think that suits him well. I think the guys ahead of him are earned they're deservingly there. So I'm fine with putting.
American Dream, baby.
Exactly. So 4 spot it is then. All right, so let's move on then. We've got Taker at 4, Angle at 3, Dusty Rhodes at number 2, Hulk
and
Hogan
Lex
at number...
Luger at 4. Sorry, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Lex Luger is too American for this list. we just it's kind of like when you're in Little League and there's that kid that's just way too big, way too good, and they make him go play in the higher league. That's what this is kind of like. Having Lex Luger would water down the rest of the list, you see.
Well, okay, you said we'd get to we get to bad examples of it. That's what I'm saving.
We're gonna say we'll save that. We'll save bad examples for the end. We'll definitely have a short discussion because I have a lot to say about a few of those. But let's go on then. We're gonna finish off your set of picks here with Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and
I'm regretting that. I don't know. Because it was such a joke character. But that's what it was. He was just a guy to come out and really get the fans chanting. They weren't expecting a classic match out of him or anything.
Oh god.
And it was all cheap pops, totally. But he worked it, and he's made a career out of doing that. I'm just coming out with a 2x4 and an American flag.
Yeah, Jim Duggan is basically just a walking USA chant, and that's all he was ever meant to be and all he ever will be. I mean, which is fine. The guy.
No, that's perfect. That would be my dream gimmick, honestly.
If I could walk into an arena full of people and they just chant USA at me just forever, that'd be awesome. But the guy never was a great technical wrestler. At all. I mean, I really can't even name one Jim Duggan match off the top of my head that just stood out to me. They were all kind of same old shit, but you know what? That's fine. He was what he was, like you said. But the American flag, the 2x4, and just people chant USA at him wherever he goes. So I mean, he's got to be on the list. And I don't know. He was kind of that Dusty Rhodes type of body too. Maybe not as big, which I don't know.
He is more proportioned, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Well, a little bit. But yeah, and I mean, he was a fucking janitor in WCW. I mean, that's blue collar. That's pretty damn American.
Does he lose points for joining Team Canada in WCW?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, where he shaved his beard off and cut his hair.
Fucking traitor.
No.
Hacksaw.
Yep, Hacksaw.
No. You went down the list.
Hacksaw, you are officially disqualified from the Adjective Play 6-pack. That's actually, I like that name. This Adjective Play 6-pack.
Trademarked.
Trademarked. All right, so who are we going to put in his place then? So we're going to call it the 6-pack. Got to have 6 guys.
It's a good question.
we obviously we go to extensive lengths to do our show prep.
Lex was pretty damn American, but it was just for a stint.
Yeah, but Lex Luger also sucks ass. So.
Scott Steiner?
Hell yeah.
Just, for his outspokenness and beliefs in the freedom of speech.
And what's the word for it? Just the Iraq War and how it was completely justified and necessary.
Terrorists, damn it.
Terrorism.
They're training terrorists over there.
Iraq trains terrorism. Hell, whatever. We're going to put Scott Steiner on this list. He comes from a highly educated university, for one.
He deserves it.
I mean, he's jacked up on steroids, probably more than anybody that's ever fucking been a professional wrestler ever. I mean, and that's the big boom period of baseball back in the 90s was when everybody was on steroids. And yeah, he's just an outspoken goon on steroids, you know. I'd say that qualifies him to be one of wrestling's all-time top 6 greatest Americans. We're not going to put him high. We'll put him right there at number 6 just to slip him in. But yeah, sorry, Hacksaw. The spot was yours to lose, and you
That's
just
what you get.
You just can't go border hopping like that and expect to get away with it.
You terrorist.
Fucking Canadian terrorist. All right. So we still need one more since we both picked Hacksaw, and he didn't even make the list. The one guy we both picked doesn't even end up making the list.
Let's put him back on.
All right.
It's his fucking gimmick.
But just like Barry Bonds and his home run record, it's coming with an asterisk. We just can't ignore. I mean, I know he came back to America.
You can't just turn your back on the Stars and Stripes.
Yeah, exactly.
And expect to not get asterisk.
Exactly. But we will somewhat forgive you. We'll put you back on our list, but we'll never forget. We forgive, but we never forget here on the Adjective Play podcast. All right, so that's the list then. At 6, Big Papa Pump, the Freakzilla.
And I know we're both in favor of this honorable mention.
Yeah, we're going to get to that. I'm just going to run down the list real quick. So we got Big Papa Pump at 6, Hacksaw Jim Duggan with an asterisk at 5. At number 4, the American Badass, The Undertaker. At number 3, the Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle. At 2, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. And of course, at number 1, the all-time greatest, most all-American wrestler of all time, Hulk Hogan. So yeah, let's just jump into it. Just some honorable mentions. We'll just have a short discussion on guys that maybe could have made the list, but didn't. I mean,
What could have been?
Yeah.
Derek Bateman.
Yes. You heard him in the show open with his just incredible line of, we're not just about wrestling, we're about chicks and America.
Well said.
Yeah, and I don't think they actually showed the Mr. USA vignettes
on air. No, I don't believe so
on
either.
TV, but I implore all of you to go to YouTube and type in Mr. USA and just find these ridiculous...
No, it was the USA guy.
The USA guy, yes. The USA guy, excuse me. Yeah, go to YouTube and type in the USA guy.
We don't want to see Mr. America.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, if you type in Mr. USA, you're going to find something completely different. He's going to look an awful lot like Hulk Hogan. But the USA vignettes were just so fucking ridiculously good. Like,
hold on to your flagpoles.
Yeah, they look like they were made like by a 15-year-old in iMovie, which is like it
wasn't. It was made by Derek Bateman, and he was trying to get himself fucking over.
Well, that's why they were good, just because they were so corny and just so obviously cheaply made, and just so goddamn funny. I think they came out about a year ago now, and they're still on YouTube. I watched them the other day.
It was when he was still on the shelf, and really, he was just waiting for some direction, and it never came. He was released. I think it really could have gotten over during his short time on NXT with when he had Bryan with him. He was getting over, you know. Like, and it wasn't even too overtly American at that point. He just throw it out there, or he'd be wearing American flag pants, his headband, or it was just a little element of his character. And then he was planning on going all out with it, and there's so many possibilities now too with Zeb Coulter and Crab, or
he would be the perfect foil for that.
Exactly, he could be the real American, but the real American. Excuse me.
Yeah, exactly.
But Yeah,
God damn it, that'd
that's
be
why it really
perfect.
sucks. And plus, he was really good in the ring. Actually,
Oh, yeah.
Actually, I mean, he was way more than I expected from an NXT contestant, and the fact that he never was moved to the main roster, that's not at all a knock on him. I blame it totally on creative and like them not having stuff for him. Because are you kidding? You could take it so much advantage of him.
Yeah. No,
He's talented as hell.
I feel the same way. They really dropped the ball or the flag in this instance. It was never going to be like a huge main event gimmick, but it would have been a fun mid card gimmick that
not everyone needs to be.
No, not at all.
Either.
And I like you mentioned, that just how good would that be right now? Just the perfect foil for this just xenophobic, douchebag trying to pass himself off as a real American. And just
I think the chance would be off the chart.
Oh yeah, I think the all-American babyface is kind of it's not something that needs to be around anymore in modern wrestling. But the way he does it, it's more of like a parody of the all-American babyface. But still, he could get over as a face with it. I think it would have been so good. Just like some of the lines in those videos, like is conservative with his words, liberal with his fists. Like, I watched it. I'm like, why is this guy not on my television?
I swear, he probably didn't even have to think too much about this. I bet it all just easily came to him.
Yeah.
He's really creative with his comedy.
Yeah. See, and that's the problem.
And he had the ability to connect too.
Yeah, that's the problem with this fucking company is that comedy is supposed to be a part of their show, and they try to make it a part of their show, but their version of comedy is photoshopping fucking wrestlers' faces on fat people and firing people like Derek Bateman, like Colt Cabana, who actually do have good comedic timing, have really good ideas, and are actually genuinely funny and not just some fucking leprechaun hanging out with a moon-faced giant. I know I used that last week, but I have to drop the moon face reference every week. But just the shit that WWE thinks is funny, it's so stupid. I don't understand. I could go on. Their attempts at comedy are just so groan-worthy and completely unfunny, but yet these guys that are funny, that do have good comedic timing, are just getting let go, released.
Because they don't understand them.
Yeah.
Hopefully, Bateman, I hope you just do your best, work your ass off, and I hope you can make it back someday, because I want to see more of you.
Yeah. But this company, they thought giving Natalia a farting gimmick was the funniest shit ever. And Derek Bateman gets fired. God, Stephanie McMahon is the worst thing, and I've got so much more to say on that later when we get to television talk.
You just hate America. That's why you fight.
Yeah, exactly. But yes, and a callback to the first show, R.I.P. Derek Bateman. But yeah, so we're going to close this segment out here. Just kind of want a quick talk on the dishonorable mentions.
Okay, right off the bat, I'm sorry, but I have to throw Lex Luger out there.
Yes, I completely agree.
The only reason, it was super patriotic and everything,
but
it actually worked for him too. Did you know it?
Yeah.
People always ignore how much fucking hard work he actually put into that gimmick.
Mm-hmm. You're touring around in his Lex Express bus.
Yeah, the Lex Express, touring the USA, getting fan support to go battle Yokozuna, and he ultimately failed. But I really I've listened to interviews and crap. He was it was working for him. It got the crowd on his side pretty much.
It absolutely did.
But I mean, the whole reason they were doing that, it was to build him up as the next Hulk Hogan, flag waving, country defending guy, and it was just a prop, really.
Yeah, and that's the problem with the whole thing. He was just intended to be Hulk Hogan because Hulk Hogan wasn't there anymore, and
that sucks because Lex. I know lots of people knock him all the time, but I've seen great matches with Lex Luger.
That is true.
And he was already defined on his own. He didn't have to be the flag waving.
Right.
guy, but that's the only reason I really slammed that, because
although
it wasn't necessary.
I will give credit to Lex Luger for being part of one of just the most hilariously American segments in wrestling history. I mean, of course, the famous the aircraft carrier, the body slam challenge, and then he fucking shows up on a helicopter, lands on an aircraft carrier, and freaking body slams a sumo. Like, that was awesome. Like,
it was
as corny and dumb as it was. Like, it was memorable.
It's still talked about.
Yeah. But yeah, just like you said, just the fact that it was just creating a new Hulk Hogan, I think really.
Yeah, it's like if you want to push Lex as your next guy, like, don't have him be like Hulk, have him be Lex.
Yeah.
And it worked for the NWA for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I don't know, my big dishonorable mention, and I know a lot of people are just they're gonna kind of see this coming, but fucking John Cena. Just
isn't that kind of the same thing too?
Yeah, it really is, but just at the same time, how like it's amazing. There are people, I've met people that are like, well, you might not like him as wrestler, but the man served our country. No, he fucking didn't. He was in a movie about serving the country. He never actually did that. Like, Jesus. But there are people that think
That's
that.
my wife.
Yeah, and just but it's just how it's just, I mean, he's kind of eased back on it in recent years, but just like the whole salute, and I'm not against it.
He'll stand up for Santa Claus, and he'll stand up for the red, white, and blue.
Oh my God. Just
anytime anything holy gets attacked.
It's just how he's like associate himself so closely to the military. And if you want to support that, if this is no disrespect to veterans or serving in the military, but just I think they should be insulted by him doing this, because he tries to like,
it seems like
intentionally or not, I don't know, but he just I don't know, he just somewhere in his brain he thinks that he is a legitimate Marine or something. I don't know. It's just I can't stand him. I just it's been better in recent years. He doesn't do as much of it, but I mean, when he used to come out to like his WrestleMania entrances, he has like one, he had like I don't remember what it was, but it was a bunch of army dudes with guns and Marines, and it was just so convoluted and stupid. And he's what are you looking at?
Just looking for some more dishonorable mentions.
Oh, I see. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to go on too long about this. I'm sure any podcast you look up on the internet will have plenty of bitching about John Cena. But it's just the lack of reinvention, just the laziness, the whole just sameness of his entire run in WWE, aside from his first few years. It's lazy, it's stupid, which
right,
the more I talk about it, I think...
got another one.
Okay, yeah, I'm done. I'm going nowhere with this.
Mr. America.
Yes, that's right. We did allude to
Hulk
him.
Hogan can be number one on the list, and on the dishonorable list.
Exactly. Yeah. For those of you who don't remember, I vaguely remember this happening. This was when I was starting to kind of get out of wrestling again. But yeah, Hulk Hogan wasn't the angle he'd been fired or something, like. I think.
Yeah, Vince fired him, and he shows up with a mask.
Yeah, so the next week he's
it's a loophole. Damn it.
Yeah, so this guy shows up in a mask, and not like a full face mask. You can clearly see the Hogan mustache underneath, and he didn't try to mask his voice at all. It clearly was Hulk Hogan. Now,
but really, it was just a short-term thing.
It really was.
It was just an angle, it wasn't like an actual character.
But it still was awful.
It's pretty awful, and that's why it's on the dishonorable list. Also, I'd like to give props to JBL.
Oh yeah, we did discuss
great heel gimmick.
Yes.
He totally played up all the negative stereotypes about Americans. And he made it work,
Yeah.
He was booed everywhere. He got arrested in Germany or whatever too, Yeah.
And
for goose stepping.
I did look for that video of him trying to catch illegal immigrants at the border to put in the show open, but I think WWE has gone to great lengths to remove that clip from existence, 'cause I couldn't find it anywhere. But yeah, I don't think, he wasn't like, he shouldn't be considered on the list, for being like the American face, but in terms of just a good American character, I think you could definitely have him in the conversation.
Well, he totally reinvented himself too.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, fuck.
Bradshaw,
And
damn it.
the APA, they could both, we could have put the APA in the, freaking drinking beers, playing cards, and whooping ass for money, They were, God, there's just, the more I talk about it, just...
And I remember they got really over, actually, during the 9/11 attacks.
Yeah.
Because they were, Bradshaw was naturally outspoken. And that's what I was talking about earlier, too. With Dusty Rhodes, and why it worked for him so well. Really, Bradshaw as JBL was just playing an extension of himself and
exactly
playing up on things that can piss people off and whatever. But and it was just way more hateable.
Yeah.
So props to you.
Yes. And I think we're going to end our discussion there. We're going on 40 minutes now.